guitar in the corner, it's the one I learned to play on. Believe me or not, it's been all around the world. It's been back and forth to Georgia, Carolina a couple times. But there's that one trip that takes me back in time. On a plane ride to a foreign land, a journey had begun. To a different time with my old man, watching the more dogs run, telling stories and comparing battle scars. Well, they're always among us.
Good evening and welcome to ITW Radio. It is Wednesday night, 8/15/2018. Tonight we have a surprise guest on with us. Is Austin Neal, correct?
Yes, sir.
How you doing tonight, Austin?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Austin is a man that I just talked to in the last week here. I'd heard one of your songs. I'm not sure where we got it from. Somebody sent it in. And, man, what a kick butt song. Tell us about that song, Austin.
Well, when I was about 12 years old, I had this old Yamaha guitar and just old 3/4 size acoustic guitar. Nothing special about it or anything at all. And I told my dad that I wanted to learn how to play. Well, I had been picking around on his and everything for a while, and I went back in the pawn shop and it was gone. Well, my birthday had come around and my dad was walking on the hallway with it. He had bought it for me for my birthday. And so I had it and I played on it and everything. And then that was one of our connections. Mom and dad were split up when I was young, and one of the big ways that we kind of spend time with each other was playing. And I had that guitar. Well, my sophomore year of high school, my older brother had joined in the Marine Corps and he was deployed. And on his deployment, they said that they could take care packages. They could receive gifts. They just didn't know if they were guaranteed to be able to bring them back into the States with them. Well, none of us had ever experienced anything like that. There were no conflicts or wars or anything crazy going on. So no one knew the stint that he was going to have to put in as far as time-wise. So I told Dad, I was like, well, let's send this over there to him so he has something to do whenever he's not out, And so we sent it over with him. Well, whenever he went was the spring of 2002. And if you guys remember correctly, they took a pretty big hit. And they lost a lot of guys, a lot of fellas. And he actually had one of the corpsmen, which was funny because whenever I got out of high school, I joined the Navy. And but he had one of the corpsmen, one of the field corpsmen, he had a couple extra IV needles, and they had etched as scenery in the back of the guitar and the names of the guys that they had lost. And yeah, there it is right there. And then on the front of the guitar, which I'll send y'all pictures, was everybody else in their unit that had went over and come home with them. And he presented it to me and everything at one of my shows whenever I was playing back home. And
now, did your brother do the artwork on that, or?
No, my brother did not do the artwork on it. One of his good friends that was over there actually did the artwork, did the scenery on it. And I believe there's an old radio interview on YouTube actually from when he was over, and that has him playing the guitar in the first part of the interview. It's crazy. It's crazy to see, and just knowing that it's literally been halfway around the world and back. And he presented it to me at one of my shows back home, and I decided that, you know, it had rode along with him that long and that far that, that's where it needed to be, because clearly, you know, it had done him good, and he had treated it well, and he got that back in return from it. You know, it kept everybody together in times when all you really want to do is fall apart. And so I decided, you know, that was who it needed to stay with. That's who it needed to be with. And later on, you know, I got to thinking about it. I'm like, man, that old Yamaha has been Missouri, California, Carolinas, Georgia, Iraq. You know, it's been everywhere. And whenever you think about instances or songs or time frames or time periods, you know, I've learned a lot that me and him talk back and forth, and he's writing 4 of the songs on my full album coming out, and it's gonna be great work. Everybody, you're really gonna enjoy it. But you know, we got to talking about it, and I was like, man, you know, this song, it might be a little too particular, a little too detailed, a little too particular as far as situations or things like that, relationships. You know, what if they don't relate to that? What if somebody doesn't relate to that or doesn't make any sense out of it? And whenever I started putting together, you know, he had mentioned, hey, it really doesn't matter if someone relates directly to that situation or relates directly to that time, because you can say something, you know, about talking to your dad, or there's a line in the song, you know, watching them old dogs run with my dad. And I was just talking about watching the rabbit dogs, just standing around the truck, just visiting, watching the dogs run rabbits, and listening to them bark and yelp through the woods and up and down the holler and everything. And that could be a bunch of different situations. You know, mine was standing at the truck, listening to the dogs run. Another person, you know, they could hear that and be like, yeah, well, I remember whenever me and my dad, we used to go fishing, or I remember when me and my dad, we used to play ball, or, you know, just different things. And he explained that to me, and I was like, well, I guess probably, you know, there may be a few more people relate to it than what I originally thought. And it went into stores, digital download and audio streaming stores on July the 19th. And it's had like 21,000 hits so far. So it's doing a lot better. You know, that was a self-healing thing. You know, if no one related to it, it really wasn't going to matter to me, because I put my feelings down on paper, and I could listen to it and kick back and remember those times, remember those things just by listening to that song. And yeah, I've been really lucky that other people have kind of grasped a hold of the idea of it and been able to do the same thing. And it really, you know, when you called last week, I was kind of stunned. I didn't know what to say. I was like, man, you know, I'm in Southeast Georgia. I'm from Southeast Missouri originally. And then I got this guy that has a radio station down in Central Florida saying, hey, I've had people, you know, tell me about your song. And it's really cool, and it's really amazing how people, you know, how things reach out to people, and people grab a hold of them and kind of take them for their own and settle with them. You know, I've got a particular song that reminds me of my grandma. I got a particular song that reminds me of my dad, you know, and things like that. And then it was just really cool to hear, you know, you say that someone down there was, you know, thought it'd be a good idea for you to listen to it. And it just really, it shocked me. But at the same time, I was just like, man, damn, I got to call my brother and tell him he was right. Someone else related to it, you know? And, but it was, it's really neat. It was definitely that song. I was in the studio for, I think we put 27 hours into that song.
Now, did you record any of the song with that particular guitar?
I did not. From the travel and the difference in humidity and everything like that, and the different climates and stuff. It kind of got beat up in the travel and everything too, and shipping it back home. Um, I recorded on an old cutaway Alvarez I had handcrafted back home. That's the one I play around on here at the house, and it's I still have it. I've had it for about 10 years now. And I know everybody likes their Martins and Taylors and Gibsons and stuff, but I learned how to play on an Alvarez. My dad's before he bought me that Yamaha, and kind of grew fond of them. So they're and they're handcrafted back home, which is kind of cool. But I just that's what I'm fond of, and it plays real well. So and it keeps up with me. I'm hard on things. I beat the crap out of it, and it's still here, still going.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him to put that picture back up. That that is a cool looking guitar. Now that was done by one of the. Before we move on, by the way, I want to thank you for your service to the country.
Thank you.
The one thing that I do respect is our veterans and stuff, and man, my hat's off to you guys. On this guitar, I'm looking at the pictures and stuff on the back. Go ahead and swell that up some, Chris. Let's see. That was one hell of an artist. I mean, especially to do that. You said with a IV needle.
He did it with an IV needle and like a little razor knife, little X-Acto knife, or whatever you want to call it, little medical razor knife. So.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. There's so much going on in it. I mean, you got the soldier down on the bottom. You've got, the background pictures of the soldier coming across the field with the sunset and trees and stuff, and then you've got the American flag there. And that is kick butt, man. If you ever want to get rid of it, let me know. I'll hang it up in the back of my studio and hang it proud.
It hangs. It hangs on his wall there in the corner by all the family pictures and everything. He actually he had a friend that he was blown out of a truck, and he had a buddy that didn't make it, and he named his daughter. His name was Patrick Kinney, and he named his little girl that his wife was pregnant with at the time. He named her Madeline Patrick, because he always said that if he had a little boy, he's gonna name him Pat after Patrick. And they had a little girl, and he was like, "Well, I'm gonna name her Madeline Patrick." So instead of an I, it's with a Y. But he got his Patrick. So
yeah. Now is that a guitar pick, or is that your dog tag that's made into a guitar pick,
no,
or on your neck?
that's a guitar pick. My son, he'll be 8 on Friday. He likes little treasures. We go to thrift stores and farmers markets and things like the antique stores and pawn shops and stuff when he's down, and he likes to treasure hunt. Well, there was this man that had a bunch of odd and random things there, and engraved stuff. So he wanted a guitar pick on his necklace. He wanted a necklace with the guitar pick, and so I got him one. Well, he said I had to have a matching one, so this one's mine.
Oh, that's too cool. What's his name?
Jackson.
Jackson. Well, happy birthday, Jackson. He's going to be 8.
He'll be 8. He'll be 8.
Oh, that's too cool. Yeah, my youngest one now is getting ready to graduate this year, so I'm hoping to make it to the Bahamas. But
Hey, there you go.
I don't know. He says he's out of here. He's heading to California when he gets done. I don't know why. Maybe he'll come back to his roots. I don't know how that's going to work out for him. He's a Southern boy. He's going to get out there and go crazy. Now you've got some. Excuse me. I don't think your song is going to be sitting where it's at very long. I have a feeling that it's going to be right up there with Calvin O's. He hit #1 this week. I don't know if you heard his music or not. One Nation Under God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to get you and Calvin in here at the same time. That'd be a hell of an interview.
Yeah, that'd be really neat. That'd be really cool. I'm actually I'm down. I play there's a big theme park down in Valdosta, Georgia, called Wild Adventures. I play there Sunday, and I play a solo show Friday night in Savannah, and then Saturday night, me and the band, full band play, and then I run down to Valdosta, Georgia, and play at Wild Adventures on Sunday, and then the following weekend, I play Fioruau in Richmond Hill Thursday. I play Castaways in Savannah on Friday. And then I drive down and I'm in the studio Saturday morning. Then I play Island Girl Cigar Bar Saturday night. And then Sunday morning I'm in the studio. And then I drive to Columbus, Georgia to play at Wild Wings Cafe out there on Sunday evening. So next weekend's going to be pretty crazy. Going to be pretty nuts. But and then the following weekend I'm in Missouri. But I really think the very next weekend I'm back down in Jacksonville. It'd be really cool to come on down and, you know, drive an extra little bit and come check it all out.
Well, I'm working with it's something I got to talk to you later on about, but I might as well drop it on you right now while we're on the air. Florida Theater in Jacksonville, not too far from where you're going to be playing at. They're one of the oldest theaters in Florida and one of the oldest in the United States. But they're like self-funded. They're more or less the PBS of theaters. You know, they don't take any government funding or anything like that. So I'm trying to work up a benefit concert for them. I wanted to try to get you down and Calvin O over and get a few more artists in there to feature them and help them out. But the thing will be, I think it'll be sold out. You know, it's going to go for a good cause, and that'll probably get you guys, you know, a couple more listeners, maybe one or two. But when it's I need to talk to you about that off the air. See what we can work out about getting you guys down. It's going to be a few months away, probably into the first part of next year, because I want to make sure we get it promoted. I don't think it will take long to sell out since they only have like 1,000 seats there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that'd be really cool. That'd be really cool. I play an old theater. It's the same kind of setup northwest of Atlanta called the Milltown Music Hall. And it's about the size of the Ryman. And I play the pre-show for Mark Chestnut in March up there. So
cool.
That'd be really cool.
And you said you started playing when you were, you know, when you got your guitar on your birthday. Did you take lessons, or did you? You said your dad was teaching you, but
I actually I started messing around with my dad's when I was 7 years old, and he had this old friend of his named Vernon Ledbetter, and I remember just sitting back and listening to them because they'd have one night a week that they'd all the guys would get together and play music. We had to go to bed at a certain time, and I'd sit on the couch. As long as I sat on the couch and I was quiet and I wasn't up running around, jumping around or anything, you know, they'd let me stay up. And so I watched Vernon, and he played, he did all the little, all the western country licks, and all the old Johnny Rivers and Merle Haggard and Billy Joe Shaver licks and things like that people really don't do anymore. You don't hear much of that anymore. And that's where I kind of took from, was listening to Vernon. So I got to messing around on my dad's, and whenever I got my guitar, I was 11, 12 years old, something like that. And I just started full-fledged, just started playing. I had an old cassette player with a record button on it, and Dad worked night shift at Briggs and Stratton, and I would sit at the house with my guitar and I would listen to the radio. Well, if there was a song back then, you'd call into the radio station and request a song. Then you're pretty much guaranteed to hear the song that you called in and requested, like within the next 4 or 5 songs coming up. So I'd sit there by the radio. I'd call in and request a song, sit by the radio, push record on the little tape player, record it off the radio, and figure it out, you know, on this old guitar. And that turned into learning how to play all kinds of stuff. Vern Gosden had an old one, Set 'em Up Joe, started off with stuff like that. Earl Thomas Conley. Then that kind of graduated into the supergroups of the 90s, you know, Shenandoah, Little Texas, Ricochet, Restless Heart, Confederate Railroad, Black Hawk. All those groups have really, really caught my eye. Well, then when I was about 14, 15 years old, I went to a concert with my buddy. It was an Eagles concert, nosebleed seats. I saved up for like 2.5 months to get the tickets to this Eagles concert. And after that, I was a done deal. You know, that was perfection. That's what I think all musicians and all artists try their whole life, is to be like the Eagles, be like Don Henley or Glenn Fry or Joe Walsh or Bernie Leadon. Um, it was amazing. And since then, it was live music, and they just blew it out of the water. You could close your eyes and swear you're listening to the radio. I mean, it was incredible. And so I went from Vern Gosdin and Merle Haggard to the Eagles. Well, then I learned who Foreigner was and Creedence Clearwater Revival. Then I checked out, had that figured out. Then I went into the 90s, Black Crowes, the Counting Crows, Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, stuff like that. Well, my dad, the whole time, he was like, country music's where it's at. Country music's where it's going to be. None of that stuff, blah, blah, blah. He'd listen to it, but he wasn't real fond of it. And he came in it was mid-morning on a weekend. And I remember I had my headphones on, cockeyed, because I could listen to the song in this ear, and I could listen to what I was doing in this ear. And I had my pedal board and stuff pulled up, and had a little 8-inch single horn, little bitty amp sitting right beside me. And I was playing, and I was going through it. And I remember it was Amy, Pure Prairie League, and figuring it out. Well, about that time, he beat on the door, and he was like, "You turn that radio down a little bit." I'm sitting here like, well, dang, that wasn't radio. that was me, I was like, I said, "That wasn't radio, Dad." And then he opened the door, and he said, "Well, that was you." And I was like, yeah, that was me. Well, just turn it down a little bit. Okay. So that was, as far as different things, that was a real good compliment for me. And I just took off with it. I played a lot of rock and stuff back in high school and everything, but always went back to playing country music. And I'm talking 90s and older. I do some of the newer stuff, some cover some of the newer stuff. I played a couple acoustic set-ins and opened for some people and everything, and that landed me in Asheville about 2 years ago. I played through the state of Kentucky and Tennessee, and then I ended up right outside of Maggie Valley, Asheville, a little bitty town called Franklin, North Carolina.
I know where Franklin's at.
There was a biker bar there, no bigger than my living room, and called Mixers, and met a lot of very vivid and nice people there. It was crazy. It was a really good time. But then after that show, I was like, man, I'm not that far from Georgia, because my dad, he was transferred down here at Briggs and Stratton. And I was like, I'll ride down the coast. Just ride down the coast and check it out. And come down here and was thinking about my kid. I was like, man, the school year is almost over. I'm going to get my boy, and because I get him summer and Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff, just because of the distance. He lives in North Dakota with his mom. But so I rode down the coast, and I come to a little town. Well, it's not little. I hit about Augusta and come down through a little town. I was coming to Statesboro because I knew there were a couple music stores here, and other than that, I hadn't been down here in probably 15 years. And come through this little bitty town called Millen, Georgia. And there was a pawn shop there. I'm like, man, I'm going to go in here and see what kind of treasures they got and kill time. So I walked in there, and there was a couple guitars on the wall, like any other pawn shop. And I asked the boy behind the counter, I said, "You see that one?" He was like, "You play it?" And I was like, "Yeah, a little bit." And I played it a little bit. And he was like, "I have a show out at it's called Backwoods at Coleman's Lake in Midville, Georgia." And he said, "I got a show out there tonight. Why don't you come out and hang out?" And I was like, "You know what? Yeah, that'd be great." I already had a room there in town, and I was like, I'll ride out and check it out. Just kind of breathe, watch somebody else, play some music, and just hang out with people. And went out there, and he was like, "Well, get up and do a couple songs," because he was doing a lot of newer stuff. He was doing some Florida Georgia Line. He was doing some Luke Bryan, some Aldine, stuff like that. And the boy, they were eating it up. And he did really well. He did really well. And he come out and he was, hey, why don't you get up and do a couple songs? Man, I'm just I'm just hanging out, gonna have dinner, have a couple drinks. He's like, oh, do three songs. And what that was I did Queen of My Double Wide Trailer by Sammy Kershaw. I did Soul Shine by the Allman Brothers, and then I did um, Can't You See? And the manager, I sat down and he took a break and he put on some music. He just DJed music during his 15-minute breaks. And we sat down and we were talking, and the manager walked up and set a pad of paper and a pen down. She said, we'd like to book you. And I told her, I said, you know, I don't even live here. I'm not from here. Well, you know, we'll make it worth your time to drive. And I'm like, I don't think you will. I'm from Missouri. And she's like, well, if you're ever in the area, you know, let us know. We will book you. Well, I was sitting at my buddy's house. I caught up with one of my old friends, and he has a little farm, and he has chickens and goats and stuff, just random animals. And I was sitting there on the Kubota, on the tailgate of his Kubota, and he's like, well, what do you have holding in Missouri? He's like, Jackson, you know, his mama lives in North Dakota. He just as easily fly down here as he could in Missouri. And I'm like, you know what? He said, just check it out, try it out this summer. Like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, then there you go. So I stayed down here, and I got back a hold of that man. I said, hey, I ended up staying. She booked me 2 nights a month for 4 months. And I was just like, man, you know, if it's booking shows is this easy, that's crazy. That's the easiest I've ever booked a place to play. Well, after that, I hooked up. The guy's name that was out there that night was Kyle Turner. And that year, we put in like 153 shows. And I mean, it was tiring. It was a lot of work. There's a lot of people that don't understand the amount of work that actually goes into playing. They think, oh, you're hanging out on the weekend. You're going out every night, looking at the scenery and all of this. I'm like, well, yeah, you know, that's part of it, sure. But you forget about the hour and a half of setting up beforehand and tearing down the equipment. And I said, there's some work behind it. And he continued to push on, and we decided, you know, we were going to try to do some solo stuff. Well, he's on a good track right now, and if I stay on the pace and the rate that I'm going right now, I'll have over 140 shows this year. And I did not play a show at all in January. I only played 2 shows in May because my son was down and we were on vacation. And in like 10 and a half months, I'll have 10 and a half months out of the year, I'll break 140 shows. And it's just been, I've been so grateful that, you know, learning and going back to roots with playing and with writing and even choosing some of the songs to cover, I've got to connect with a lot of different people. I've got to connect with a lot of great people. And they'll always tell you, you know, if you play one of those songs that meant the world to them, one of the songs that was their soundtrack to things that they did back in their time. You know, it's like, oh, I remember when this one come out back in 1992. Or I remember when this one come out, first time I heard it, I was doing this with so-and-so, and we were over here doing this or that. And, you know, it's really cool to get to listen to those stories. It's really cool to get to experience the thing with those people and playing a song, and then you have someone come up and be like, I haven't heard that in forever. You know, do you know this? Do you know that? And they'll sit there with you all night, you know, and tap their foot and bob their head back and forth. I mean, sometimes you can hear them singing with you. It's really cool. It's really cool. Music's always been it's always been there. I mean, jobs have come and gone. relationships are definitely coming on. But music is always, it's always been there. And
How many
that's just
original songs? How many original songs do you have out recorded now?
I have, let's see here. I have 5 right now.
Where can people get your music at?
I can barely hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you a little better.
Chris, can you turn on my mic so he can hear me?
I think it's just a signal problem on his end.
Okay.
I have 3.
Okay, where can people find your music at?
They can find it on, well, the 3 that are released right now. I have a 4th single coming out at the end of August, Starlight. And they are all available through my distribution company. They have tackled all 153 online stores. So, and I'm also signed on the package deal where if there's any more online stores that have been generated, it automatically ties into that. So if they have Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, even Amazon, Rhapsody, Idol, YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, and it's on. They have also first, so they can listen to it.
Okay. Well, cool beans. Well, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. We're coming up on commercial. I got to pay some bills. We kind of got started late, but what does it say? Yeah, they can check you out on Facebook as well, correct?
Yes, it's Austin Neal Music at Facebook.
Austin Neal Music on Facebook, and then they can pretty much pick up anything on Spotify, Reverb.
Yes, they can pick up the 3 that are out. If they want to follow me on Spotify or Apple Music and subscribe, then they'll automatically be notified whenever the next single comes out. I'm due to put out the full album at the end of October. So that's going to be exciting, and that'll be 10 tracks with an extra track, with a bonus track. So I'll have 11 tracks on the full album.
Okay, cool beans, man. Well, I want to thank you for coming on, and thank you for your service, and thanks for letting us share your music, man. You got some kick butt stuff, and I
appreciate it.
I know you're going to be, and I'll tell you like I tell the other artists, when you get up into Nashville, don't forget about me. I'll be standing on the sidelines while you're walking up the red carpet. I swear, hand to God, if you don't go, hey, Travis, I'm going to turn around and moon you.
It sounds good. It sounds like
You don't want to see my old white butt. But no, the only thing I asked the artist, like I told you on the phone, was, we don't charge the artist, for putting music out or anything. But, and I know I talked to you about this when we were on the phone, is, just pay it forward. Find some kid that's standing there like in Jukebox Hero. We were talking about Foreigner and stuff before, and, the kid's standing there, and that's what I picture you like when you were talking about the Eagles, standing there like the, in Jukebox Hero, and he's talking about standing on the front row and wanting to be on stage and stuff, So, but thank you very much for coming on tonight, and then we're going to have you back on. I'm not sure if Marie got you back on. Oh, she just said soon. So, but we are going to feature your song, by the way, on Veterans Day and stuff. But right now you're scheduled to play how often? About how often?
About every hour. I was hiding.
I know you're always hiding. About every hour.
Hi, Austin.
Your song is playing. So, but thank you for coming on, Austin. And we're going to close out the end of the show with your song as well. And then you guys, if you want to catch it, you can go on Spotify. But thank you for coming on, and thank you again for your service to our country and for writing such great music.
Appreciate it, y'all. Y'all have
and somebody, Lotus in Winter Garden said hi.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know Lotus?
It's right there.
What? I can't see it. Who is it?
She's giving a shout out. She says hi from Winter Garden, Florida.
Oh,
Lotus.
she said hi from Winter Garden, Florida. Okay.
We're writing him small notes over here, so you'll notice he's wandering all over the place.
Yeah, they send me notes all the time throughout the show. There's so many people that listen to it and
we ought to
watch
see
it
him
and
before
stuff.
the show starts. He's covered in sticky notes. He's too busy running, so we just get a sticky note and we write it down and we put it against him, so he's eventually got to read them all.
There's sticky notes all over me. There's one on my shoulder right here.
Yeah, there you go.
I just reach up and grab them. But thanks, Austin. I got to get to some commercials here and pay some bills, man. Thank you, brother, for your service and for coming on and letting us share your music.
Thanks,
okay.
guys.
You have a good evening, Austin. Thank you.
Good night.
You too.
All right, good night. What? There it is. That was Austin. See, it's delayed. There's sticky notes hanging out all over me. Man, I love his music. I can't wait to get him and Calvin O together.
Yeah, we've got to see if we can do that this next coming month. Hey, I want to do a shout out. We've got a whole bunch of new listeners tonight on the radio station. I want to welcome you guys to IITW Radio. So we have shows every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So you'll hear us from 7:30 to 9. So we won't drive you too crazy, I promise.
But yeah, you guys can check out Austin Neal. You can check out his stuff on Facebook. You can go to Austin Neal Music on Facebook. You can get his stuff on Reverb Nation, Spotify, and stuff. If you guys don't have it, support your local artists. Don't rip their music off. I'm sure there's some little 7-year-old kid sitting overseas right now ripping his songs off.
Also, I want to tell you guys that are listening on the radio, if you want to see the interview so that you can kind of go back, you can check it out on YouTube or go to iitwradio.com and you can see the interview live there. So, what do we got tonight, Travis?
What's the lady's name? Darius?
Lotus.
What's the other name? There's two names there.
Lotus Diaries.
Oh, Lotus Diaries. Okay.
We got to teach you how to read YouTube. We got to work on you.
Because it looks like there's a lotus in the icon.
Yes, you silly thing.
I can't see that. I'm an old guy. My glasses, I got new glasses. I got the light coming off of them.
That's not gray. That's platinum.
It's making my eyes look like they're jaundiced from these new glasses because they've got the tint to them, which is driving me crazy.
So what do we got tonight?
Oh, I got to do my shout-outs before we do anything.
Oh. Hey, I got a quick shout-out. We got a new group that we just got in, and I promised I would give them a shout-out.
Okay, go ahead. Go with your bad self.
I just wanted to say, MB Alexander, this is your shout-out from IITW Radio. You can check their music out on iitwradio.com. Hey, don't forget you guys can vote for your favorite artists. Make sure you get our artists up there in that top 10 to hear more often. So.
Oh, we got my niece Rosie.
Oh, yes.
I know we got some other stuff hanging out up there and the things. I have to say hi to my niece Rosie every night.
If you don't, she will haunt you.
She will haunt her Uncle T down.
Your phone will not stop ringing.
She will not love me anymore. I will not be her favorite uncle. But to all my nephews and nieces and stuff, you know, if you guys call me, I'll shout you out. If you don't, Rosie's the only one that's getting it. She's the only one that's in my will too, guys. So the rest of them are going to be burning up my phone now.
Christmas, Rosie.
But yeah, Rosie is so cool. Her and my little brother, who's mentally challenged, mentally handicapped, however you want to say it. Lester, I love you, buddy. All right, let's go to the stand. I'll give the rest of the shout-outs after we get these done because we're on a time thing here. The stand, Matt and Luann. I went up there today and got, what'd you pick up for your mom? Chris?
Peaches, pineapple, lettuce, zucchini, cucumber, and cherry tomatoes.
They have all cherry tomato.
Tomato.
I thought you were from the South.
Potato, tomato.
Damn it, it's maters. Not like the
They're
cars
open
things.
daily from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And where are they located at, Travis?
And they're on 17 in Satsuma. If you missed that place, you've either been drinking or you haven't been in the area very long. But they're right across from the old Kangaroo, Circle K, whatever you want to call it. And they also have one in East Palatka by the weight station. Go in there. Oh, man, we didn't get the picture of Andre up, did we?
No, we did not.
Crap. That was a funny
picture,
That's okay.
Too. I got it for Friday. I got it all ready to go for Friday.
O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Go in there and see JR. They're open Monday through Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sundays, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Go in there and talk to JR, Tracy, or Brian. They guarantee to match anybody's parts as long as it's not off the internet. They do that all the way across the United States. I don't know if they're overseas or not.
You know, I honestly don't know. I have to check.
I don't support overseas stuff, so it doesn't matter. Okay.
You were if you were overseas.
Got Mr. Bird, Bird's Auto Sales. Mr. Bird sells all kinds of storage buildings, greenhouses, you name it, he's got it over there. Small, big, whatever. That's where I bought my studio from. They did it custom like, and then I did the rest of the work. They have gazebos, all kinds of things. You can either rent to own. If you don't have good credit, go over there and see them, because it doesn't matter. They're not going to embarrass you. You know, people go through crap and they know that. But they are right there in San Mateo. They do have a finance company, by the way. That's what I did on mine. I just financed it out. But see Mr. Bird over there. They're in San Mateo.
Yes, they do setup, sales, and delivery, and they have competitive prices, so they're pretty good.
Well, it's cheaper than, in most cases, it's cheaper than putting your stuff in a storage unit, especially when you have to drive all the way across the county to go and check on your stuff, when you can put it outside your door and walk right out there. So, cars, community auto repair specialists, Tracy and Jason, they have a new baby. You got to support your local businesses. They are open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and closed on Saturday and Sunday, because they are a family, and that's cool that they're doing a family gig. But I think they're going to be opening back up on Saturdays. But they have 3 locations at 3520 Krill Avenue in Palaca. It looks like a big red barn, and I saw this lady today that won the front end alignment and stuff from them. But they're always giving back to the community. They sell their tires at cost. What it costs them to get the tire, they sell it to you for the exact same price. They do not mark the tire up. They only charge you for the mountain balance. Animal Health Care Center, Dr. Nagy and Dr. Smith. I can never thank them enough for saving my dog Cracker's life. Cracker had a 5-pound pus bag in her, and it was nasty. But they stopped what they were doing to get her in there. They do digital x-ray, spaying, and neutering, which is very important, guys. Get that done. Dental cleaning. You don't want to be walking around having your dogs, your little loved ones, pets, with not jaundice, gingivitis, jaundice of the mouth. Holy crap! But they do dental cleanings. Matter of fact, I've got to get the 2 dogs back in there.
Yes,
do they do dental cleanings for cats?
Yes, they do. They do them on cats and dogs. It's actually you need to do it because they can develop heart disease. And trust me, once the heart goes bad, it's hard. You can only maintain it. You can't get it better. You don't want to have the problems before they start. Let your pet live a little bit longer, get their teeth done and maintained. Keep those vaccines up to date.
Holy crap, that's got to be dangerous. Okay, we have to get on to some stuff. Let me finish my shout-outs real quick. Whitney, you still haven't called me. I need to find out what we're doing as far as the concert with Calvin O. But if not, that's cool, because I've got another place that called me today. Aiden. How can I forget Aiden?
You better not forget Aiden.
I didn't forget Aiden yet.
We're going to have Aiden on the beat coming up pretty soon.
Aiden just started school. Yeah, we're going to have Aiden on the beat here real quick. Whose phone keeps binging? Is that mine? Oh, it's my tablet. Holy crap. All this stuff going banging. Mama B. And then we have my friend. Where's she at? We got a new picture of her tonight. I went in there and I snapped a shot of her. She's like doing the cha-cha-cha.
Ooh, that's Look Alive Lee.
Yeah, there she is. That's Look Alive Lee.
Hey, Lee.
That's one of my best friends. Her and her husband, Ben. Give a shout out to Ben.
That place looks like it's fun to work. I mean, look. Stop. Hey, what's that sound?
Look, it looks like she's singing Luca Garage.
Mm-hmm. Like she's got it going on.
Oh, wait. Is that a wedding band on her hand? It's an engagement ring.
It looks like it's an engagement ring.
Uh-oh. We might have an announcement to make here pretty soon. I love you, Lee. Ben, too. She's going to kick my butt. But you know what? If you're not in here on Friday night, Lee, guess what? I'm putting your phone number up, your personal cell phone number. And I'm giving it to all Cletus's family, too. We got Cindy Shaw out at the Rotary Club. I always want to say the Lion Clubs, but it's not. It's the Rotary Club. She is the president over there. This woman does a lot of good stuff for the community, so I got to give her a shout out. Oh, and Annette, my friend up in Louisiana, I told her I would give her a shout out tonight. She's a wonderful lady. She's probably one of the purest women I've ever met. Doesn't cuss, doesn't drink, doesn't do anything. She's a good lady. She gave me, and I don't have my thing tonight with me. Okay. Yep. What? Oh, you need this.
Yes,
Okay.
I
My
need
bad.
that.
I'm moving right along.
don't
Okay.
have
We
my
got.
stick.
I went in today to get medications and stuff for my heart medication. And they are doing flu shots. It is that time of year. I slumped down in the seat like a big weenie, like a big sissy. But they are doing flu shots right now. Guys, one of the most important things you can do is get a flu shot. You know, I haven't been sick for 3 or 4 years now getting them. In some cases, most cases they work, but it is not live culture like the old stuff that'll make you throw up and vomit and catch the flu. This stuff doesn't do that. But I get a flu shot over there. It was, I think, at $40. Insurance and Medicaid does cover those. In most cases, I think Medicaid, she said, covers at 100%. It's at all the CVS's. That's the CVS in Palaca. They did not give me permission to do a shout out or a thing for them, but it's very important that you keep your health up. They also have shingles vaccine in there, which I've got to go in and get mine next week. I guess they were sold out today. But shingles is a nasty, nasty thing. I've seen it.
And even,
Never had it. But
and even if you're going to do it at CVS, I suggest that everybody just talk to their doctor to make sure first. If your doctor says it's okay to get your flu shot, go ahead and do it. So what do we got in the news tonight?
now we got a bunch of stuff. This first one's a bunch of sick bastards, man. 301 priests. And Pennsylvania Attorney General released on Tuesday that the awaited results for the demanding grand jury investigation of how 6 Roman Catholic dioceses in the state covered up sexual abuse by 301 predator priests over a 70-year period. This is thousands of kids. What a bunch of sick bastards. I don't care if you're a priest, a monk, child molestation pisses me off. They should hang every damn one of them.
Yeah, and it was girls and boys. It wasn't just boys.
Yeah, it wasn't little boys. It was girls and boys.
And from what I read, some of the descriptions were very graphic. So I don't want to get into those. But
yeah, I'm not gonna talk anymore about it. But it was over 1,000 victims, and this has been for a long time, and a long time coming for these guys to get busted. This isn't something that just happened overnight. Like I said, this is a long ordeal.
Yeah, they said some of the people have already passed on or they've already left.
Yeah, and they've been covering this up for years and years and years. Okay, I don't want to talk anymore about that.
Yeah, that just makes me aggravated.
Gets my blood
Anytime
pressure
you hurt kids, I get really aggravated.
up and rag. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you guys that know him, the ones that are old school like myself, you'll remember him. He was a basketball player. Played on a lot of different teams, but he's comparing the national anthem. Do we have a video of him?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, let's put this up because before I start getting into this and getting riled up, I want you guys to see this crap.
It said songs that were sung by slaves while they were forced to do manual labor. They were talking about it. It said Abdul-Jabbar recanted what Frederick Douglass said in My Bondage and My Freedom. Slaves are generally expected to sing as well as to work. And according to Abdul-Jabbar, the Star-Spangled Banner is the song that President Trump, the oppressor, is demanding to be sung. Currently, the song being demanded is the national anthem during football games, but during a warm-up game on August 10th, despite President Trump's previous condemnation, several Eagle players kneeled during the anthem and raised their hands. For them, lyrics like Land of the Free don't actually accurately represent the daily reality for people of color.
Pause it so you can read?
They love their country, but what their country want their country to recognize is that it doesn't refer to them. He reacted to Trump saying that NFL players wanted to show their outrage at some time. We would know better how to define the outrage. The privileged darling of white supremacists, the 94% white team owners, the 75% white head coaches, or the 70% black players who actually take the field. The Basketball Hall of Famer has long been critical of Trump's stance about players kneeling during the national anthem. Having criticized the president in a column last year in the Hollywood Reporter.
You know what? I used to have a lot of respect for Kareem, but right now I have zero respect for you, dude. That's not a slave song, and when it talks about the land of the free and the home of the brave, that's exactly what made you all your damn money, dude. Get a clue. I'm gonna have to get some of those little get a clue things made. Here, you need a pen so you can write a note.
He's turning red over there. No, it doesn't matter. This country is made up of not just whites and not just blacks.
He's talking about,
all of us came together to build this country.
And anyways, it's not a damn metaphor, dude. We'll put you on the air right now. It's not a metaphor. He said it's Trump's song about the slavery thing. And this is bullshit.
He said like.
What?
That's a simile.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he does. You know, he's sitting there referring to our national anthem as a slave song.
As if it was a slave song.
No, he called it Trump's slave song. Go back and look at it. Read the whole article. I've got it right here in front of me. He's referring to it because he's got a boner against Trump. And
I take high. Oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated about that because I'll tell you what, I'm very proud of the country I live in. You and I were talking about this yesterday. I was like, you know what? I was looking at some of the other countries, and I said, you know what? I am proud to be an American. You know.
Well, he made his money. Day. Okay, according to the MDA, the Star Spangled Banner is a song that President Trump is basically
national
passing
anthem. No, they're saying the national anthem is the most requested song, but yet he's choosing to take what people want and turning into his personal vendetta and saying that it's.
He made his money off of the flag, off the Star Spangled Banner,
and
off
off the back of the
Americans.
But then he's going to.
And let me tell you, these guys going around saying slavery and stuff like that. Let me tell you, the whites came over on boats as well.
Yes, we did.
Okay, my people. I'm Blackfoot Indian. Mm-hmm. My ancestors got totally screwed. I am so sick and tired of hearing a bunch of racist crap and a bunch of people that say, "Oh, this or that." Bullshit. I call foul. The man made millions and millions and millions and still continues to make millions off of the song that opened up for every freaking game he ever played. Every damn game he ever played.
But now
the national anthem and the Star Spangled Banner and the flag was raised. And now he wants to go back and make it a damn race issue. I'm so sick and tired of racial crap. You know what? As a black man and the blacks, just like my ancestors, I'm proud that they went through what they did. Because had they not have gone through it, I wouldn't be a free man today. They wouldn't be free. You know, it's a shame that they had to happen, but not all white people are racist. Trump isn't out to kill every black person in the United States. He's not out to make it if you don't listen to this, you're a bad person. It's respect. Get a freaking clue. Learn some damn respect. And that goes for the freaking millennials that are out there burning damn flags and stuff. Us older people, you guys have no idea what it's like to serve this country. To go out and have to change and dodge bullets to represent this country so that you can sing that song. Cream, your ass wasn't out there doing it. So don't tell me until you become a veteran, shut your damn mouth and go play with your balls. Okay. God, that pisses me off. Let me go to the next one. You know, and then you got the Miami Dolphins and these guys raising their hands and their fists. That means black power. You know what? There's only one power, and that's God. If you don't like it, get your ass off the field. I think these guys that have never served, that come out of high school and go and play football, and have never served their country, that does not know what that flag represents, does not know what that song represents. It represents the freedom of this nation that was bought and paid for by the blood of our forefathers who gave up their lives from the day this country started until now. My ancestors were slaughtered at Wounded Knee. Blacks were slaughtered. Chinese. Blacks were put into slavery. There was concentration camps that the Chinese got put in. Even whites, the Irish, were used as slaves. Chinese were used just right along the railroad too. Mr. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar were used to build railroads. It wasn't just blacks that were singing the songs. The Chinese had to sing the same damn songs. That's what built this nation. Everything that happened with it. Kiss my ass, get out of the country if you don't like it. And take Rosie O'Donnell with you. And Madonna and the rest of them non-acting American bastards. And yeah, I'll call them dogs just like Trump did. I don't care. Let me go to the next one. Okay. Why don't you do the Georgia thing? Because I got to calm down a little bit. I'm freaking raving, pissed off right now. The Georgia father that was texting when he ran over his toddler twice.
This happened the other day in Columbus, Georgia. A father was texting when he ran over his toddler son twice in his driveway. Said that Trenton Cook, 24, is charged with second-degree homicide by vehicle and failing to exercise due care, both misdemeanors. Said he was coming home from work when his 2002 Ford Explorer ran out of gas on Victory Drive, and he had to call a friend to help him before he could continue to his home, where he arrived around 2 o'clock. Said as he pulled in, said that Cook waited until his girlfriend's children went inside to pull into his driveway, but as he pulled in, he felt a bump and then another while reversing. He discovered he'd run over his 22-month-old Zakai Cook, who later died from a head injury. The cell phone data showed that Cook had sent a text while pulling in. Police found no evidence of intent, and public defender said it was an accident. The judge agreed to set his bail at $2,800. I mean, texting and driving, y'all, it doesn't matter if you're parked or just pulling in. If you look down, that split second, I've seen animals run out in front of me in a split second. I mean, it only takes a split second. All you gotta do is look down and look back up. And shoot, Travis, what happened to you the other night?
Yeah, when Chris and I were...
Just a split second of just a light change.
Yeah, when Chris and I were riding down the road, if I would have been texting, this guy... You guys are going to drink and go to the bars and stuff and decide to walk home, call a freaking cab. Chris and I were driving down the road, what was it, about 10:30?
About right, yeah.
About 10:30. It was after his show. And I don't remember if we headed over to get something to eat or not. Anyways, this drunk in the middle of the freaking road in a dark area staggers out of my lane. If I had been texting, I would have plowed him. If the car beside me had been texting, all I could see in my mind was the guy flipping through the air. Me and Chris both thought the guy was going to die right there. So we had to stay behind him and I had to call the cops on the guy too because we didn't want him to get killed. But that could have been a real mess. But this texting and driving thing doesn't work. I've been guilty of it in the past. I'm sure everybody has.
Split second, people. That second it takes to look down the radio, you have a tendency when you're driving, your hands go where you're looking. And when you're looking away, your hands are not where they should be. You bump that wheel, even if it's just a hair, and that hair could kill you or kill somebody else. So be alert, people. Be vigilant.
Oh, here we got one. We got... Now, you people that are crazy...
Uh-oh, we got crazy?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
This is forked.
You got forked?
Yeah, she got forked.
What's forked?
Forked is when you go crazy and your husband or boyfriend is mixing salad up and it's too noisy for you, so you decided to take the fork and stab him.
Wow, you know what? I suffer from migraines every day, but I don't know if I could stab somebody with a fork. I mean, I don't know, maybe for a steak, but not for a salad.
She was upset about the noise her boyfriend was making while mixing salad dressing. It's a 34-year-old. Come on, get off of there. 34-year-old woman was arrested and charged with domestic battery after police said she stabbed her boyfriend with a metal fork. That happened over in Largo.
There got to be a little bit more to that story. I'm curious. May I suggest some Valium, sweetheart? Take a shot, take a glass of wine, just sit down for a little bit before grabbing sharp objects.
Oh, no. We have another crazy story, too.
You got another one? What could be crazier than getting forked?
It's too bad we don't have video on this one. Back in some of the movies you've seen this before, it's called bull slapping.
Oh, we do have a video on that one. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't think we had a video on it.
Yeah, I'll take.
Back in the day, there used to be a thing, and the kids probably they don't do it anymore. They just snort condoms and stuff like that. But kids growing up are always stupid. When I was a kid, young teenager, we used to go bull slapping. And that's where you jump over a fence. And what was the movie that they did at Wild Hogs?
Yeah, Wild Hogs.
But that used to be a real thing. We'd go out and slap a bull on the ass and then take off running. And
He
hopefully
goes, what
he
happens to
didn't.
the second guy? He says, I don't know. I've never actually anybody seen him do he did it in the first place.
Hopefully he don't get gored to death.
Right?
But this guy,
This
one of
takes
the
guts.
bulls are mean, but one of the meanest animals in the world that will eat your butt alive
Is a
Is a-
hungry hippo.
frickin' hippo. Especially when they're in an enclosed environment and they feel confined and concealed and they're claustrophobic. But let's roll this video on this dumbass right here. He deserves dumbass of the week.
Video posted to Instagram shows a man crossing into the LA Zoo's hippo enclosure and sneaking up on 2 hippos.
Oh my God.
The man's approach is very cautious. Finally close enough, he slaps one of the hippos on the rear, takes a moment to celebrate, and then runs off.
Slap the hippo's ass.
The LAPD confirms they got a report of trespassing at the zoo and are investigating. The zoo says the hippos are Rosie and Mara. You can see the hippo who was slapped does not show much of a reaction, but the other hippo
Yeah,
seems
the other
a
one
bit
looks ready to go
startled
after him.
and looks up as the guy is still in the enclosure.
Oh my God.
It's not clear if the man knows he's being recorded, but clearly he's showing off. And while hippos at the zoo do have human interaction, this kind of treatment can create an unpredictable situation. The zoo released a statement in connection with the incident. It is never acceptable for a guest to enter the habitat of any animal at the zoo. It is a privilege to observe these rare and endangered species, but they are still wild animals, and their space must be respected at all times.
I think his image got burnt in the brain of that other bystander of the hippo.
Oh, he definitely deserves.
That one had his look going on and like, just come back here one more time, buddy. I know who you are.
He definitely deserves a dumbass of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, why are you gonna go
What
slap
if you
him?
would have fallen, you dummy, and you went and did that, and you slid, and your head might have gone somewhere you didn't want it to go?
His buddies in the background should have dared him to go bitch slap a lion. See what he gets from that. It looked like steak. And one hippo was looking at him like, bring it. I'll get your
You
ass.
come back here. I got you in my sight. What we got next?
We got to donate the sick days.
Oh, this was about a teacher that had gotten cancer, and he needed some sick days. So I believe you have this story in front of you, Travis.
Yeah, this is a teacher that leave his picture up for a little bit. He was getting chemotherapy dripped through a catheter in his chest, and the cancer patient Robert Goodman had burned through his paycheck or burned through his sick days while undergoing surgery for chemotherapy for colon cancer. Florida public school teachers figured out he needed at least 20 additional sick days to deal with more chemo. Days he just didn't have. He didn't have them accumulated up. So on July 24th, right there in the room at the medical center in Palm Beach County, Goodman took a selfie, posted it on Facebook, and appealed for help. Within 4 days, he had enough sick days to cover an entire semester. He said he couldn't believe it happened so fast. Goodman, 56, is 56 years old. Teachers and staff managers, administrators, and even lunchroom workers who paid into the Florida retirement system transferred 75 sick days to Goodman. That is so cool.
God bless
people
you
did
guys.
that.
That's pretty awesome. And he said people are reaching out from all over the place to help him also.
Yeah, the chemo is some rough stuff. I went through it last year, chemo and radiation, not for colon cancer, but that is some nasty stuff, and that's, my hat goes off to those teachers and stuff. Okay, you guys are here. You hear banks getting heisted and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, 7-Elevens, Kangaroos, all these places getting robbed. Now, if you're going to go steal something, make it cash. If you're going to go to prison, make it for something worthwhile. It was a semi-trailer sitting at the...
Oh, the loose noodle. Got noodles on the loose.
Right at $100,000, $98,000 worth of ramen noodles were ripped off. This is in Georgia. It was stolen from a trailer parked at a Georgia convenience store between July 25th and August 1st. According to the report, Fayette County Sheriff Barry Babb said that the 53-foot longer with $98,000 worth of ramen noodles inside was stolen from a Chevron store on Highway 85. If you guys see the noodles, call the cops.
Yeah, the noodles are on the loose, but you know what? You could have a loose noodle to steal $98,000 in noodles. I mean, really?
You know how much heart failure is going to happen out of that?
Have you seen how much sodium's in one package? That's like 1,600 milligrams for one package.
And the ones that I like,
And
the
that's
hot
2
ramen
servings,
noodles,
so you have to double that.
you know, my heart still, even though I've had the 2 heart surgeries, one of my favorite things in the world, besides Twinkies, is ramen noodles. That's a shout out. If Twinkie wants to send me a couple of cases of Twinkies, I can
Yeah, you
sneak
won't
those to my
deny that.
cardiologist. But yeah, they are high in sodium. But $98,000 worth of ramen noodles? Holy crap. Okay. We got one of the things that, you know, I bitched and complained about a couple of things that Rick Scott has done, the governor of our state. And one of them is the fact that he's taken the gun rights away from, you know, people that are under 21. I didn't believe in it then. I don't believe in it now. It's a constitutional thing with me. If you're old enough to die for your country, you're old enough to own a firearm. Not everybody is crazy. But this past week, Rick Scott signed in a thing that all public schools, that when they return from summer break, they're going to have "In God We Trust" in the building, several different places. It's been the state motto since 2006, I believe. I've got to go back through. I've got a lot of stuff that I have to read everything. And God We Trust has been a part of Florida State Seal since 1868 and has been on the state flag since the 1900s. But it's only been the state's motto since 2006. They do have a poll if you guys want to go and sign up for it on there, or if you want to put it on YouTube. We'll do a poll on here. If you think you're in favor of putting God back in the schools and putting God in God We Trust, send us a yes. If you don't, send us no. We're not going to judge you. Everybody has a voice.
That's what's so great
freedom
about
of
living in
speech.
America.
First Amendment, freedom of speech. You guys use it. A lot of people are afraid of the government, and the government should be afraid of you. You are their boss. You own this country, not them. They just work here. Okay, we got another one coming up here. But thank you, Rick Scott, for doing that. See, I'm unbiased. I give him good props when he deserves it.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with that.
And
because
when
you
he
know what?
screws up, I bitch and raise hell about it. Okay, now this next one. Do we have a picture of this contact lens?
No, we do not.
No, okay. There's a contact lens. A woman went to her eye doctor, and apparently when she was about 14 years old, she got hit with a shuttlecock from playing badminton. We don't have a picture of this. I don't think you guys would want to see it.
No.
But at that time, she had the glass type contacts in. And the badminton hit her in the eye. They thought the contact had fallen out. 28 years later, her eye started swelling up like it had a cyst underneath. So they went in, they found a contact that was 28 years old that had little chips and stuff taken out of it. Now, while that may sound crazy, which it damn sure does to me, that's not the craziest part. I mean, this lady had one in there for 28 years. The crazy thing is, these other doctors, Adam was over and she was a British woman, by the way, but she's not the only one. Doctors have found 27 soft contact lenses in an eye of another British woman last year. The case was also reported to BMJ. Case reports, doctors found one clump of 17 disposable contacts in a blue mass in her right eye, and then found another clump of 10 in her left eye. The woman who had poor eyesight in her right eye and then in her left eye just thought that she was losing her contacts while she was putting them in. How the hell you lose?
How do you not remember their...
27 contacts?
Oh, my God. I can only imagine. She's got to have headaches.
They got to be all over the floor. You know, if you're looking down and you're not finding them. I wish I had enough time to tell about my friend who drank my contacts when we were in high school. Yeah, we were at a ski lodge for our senior trip. We got a bottle of Seagram 7 and 7.
Oh, that's the start right there.
I had my glass sitting on the counter, and he came in, and he thought it was his glass. I mean, we were all drinking, of course. And he goes and takes a leak, grabs the glass, my glass, which only had about that much solution in it, saline with the contacts in them. And then he's sitting out there, and he takes a drink, takes a drink, gets down to the end of the glass, and goes,
Oh, that's just nasty. That's just so wrong.
"What the hell is this?" Was my contact lens.
Hey, may this be a lesson to you young people out there.
It's like,
If you don't want to end up with that, don't
It's
drink.
like, well, I could go sit on the toilet and we can get them back for you,
Oh,
bro.
you're
And I'm
good.
like, you think I'm going to put those things in my eyes now? No. This was before there was internet and everything else. I had to call my doctor when I get back.
I can only imagine the stories I've heard when you're younger. That YouTube would have been a blast when you were growing up.
There's a couple sad stories in the news this week. As this Georgia father hit, he was hit by a car and dies after saving his daughter. Apparently, this gentleman, let me click on.
Diedrich Twig Bacon.
Yeah, his name is, well, his name might have some, normally I would be making fun of this, but the guy's name was Derek Twig Bacon.
Diedrich.
Huh?
I thought was it Derek or Diedrich?
There's two D's.
Derek.
Okay.
There's
I'm
a
sorry.
second.
I have a Diedrich in here.
Debrick.
I apologize for.
Debrick. Twig Bacon, but they call him Twig. Anyways, he was walking on Knights Avenue about 8 p.m. with his 3 children that are under the age of 10 when the youngest ran into the street. He ran after her, and then he threw her out of the way of an oncoming car. And then, I'm not going to read the whole thing. We're running out of time, but you want to think this guy is a hero. He pitched his daughter out, and the momentum from him grabbing her and tossing her back into the grass, he went in front of the other lady who was driving about 40 miles an hour, and he was hit and killed, and his kids had to sit there and watch that. So you guys say prayer
Sacred
for
kids. Yeah.
for Twig, for Mr. Bacon.
And then, do we have a quick minute to do the other story of the mom who lost her life, saving her 3 children in Texas?
Yeah, I'll let you do that one. I don't have that one
Yes, you do. It's right there.
directly in front of me.
I seem to have misplaced that photo. Give me a second.
Okay, right there.
Here
that
it
one.
is right here.
Yes. I'll let you go ahead and read that while he pulls up the other photo.
Okay. A Texas mom was killed Monday when she was struck by a vehicle while trying to protect her 3 children, including 2 of her own. On the first day of school, officers said she was an Iraqi war veteran.
Yes, she was.
And a
She was
nurse.
an Army veteran. Yes.
Yeah, that's a shame. She did all that and then comes back here and gets killed.
But you know what? She died a hero, and that's. I think she would have been happy with that.
And
Unfortunately,
she
lost
died
her
in an accident in a parking lot at an elementary school in El Paso. The 33-year-old was picking up her 2 children, ages 6 and 7, when a vehicle began to accelerate toward them. James jumped in front of her 2 children, and the 10-year-old officer official said she was trying to get in front of the kids. El Paso Independent School District spokesman said, according to the report, she was pronounced dead. The 3 children were also hit by the vehicle. El Paso Independent School District Police Chief said Tuesday the children were in serious condition but were expected to drive. You know, that's a shame.
to live. Yes.
She's one of our veterans, you know, and then has to come over here and die like that.
Again, people,
But-
this is all paying attention when you're driving. It may not be your life. You may survive, but what about that person? I mean, that's 3 today that we've talked about.
Yeah. You know, school is back in. Be careful. Do not accelerate through parking lots. Look where the hell you're going.
Oh my God, especially in children's.
These kids are precious. I know what it's like to lose a child, just like a few other my friends do. I talked to a lady today that lost her 4-year-old daughter, and it sucks. There's no getting that back. No matter how much longer you live, it sucks. And to kill somebody like that, I've never done that, but I can imagine that when you run over a child, it's not the rest of your life is screwed. You know, you're never going to get over that. But we've got to get out of here. We will be back
We'll be back Friday.
Friday, yeah, I've got
Friday
to
at
take the day off
7:30.
tomorrow. But we will be back here Friday evening from 7:30 until 9. Thank you guys for listening to us. Remember to go on to Facebook, Twitter. We have all that stuff. Tammy knows how to do all that Twitter stuff.
We
But-
are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah, go on Facebook, ITW Radio. Go on YouTube, ITW Radio. Remember to hit the subscribe button so we can get more sponsors.
Yep, make sure you hit
and
the
do
like
more
buttons
good
on
for the
those pages,
community.
people. We have giveaways every week. So starting Monday, there's going to be a whole bunch of giveaways and a bunch of changes on the IITW Radio Facebook pages and Twitter. So make sure you keep an eye out.
Okay, we love you guys. We're going to close out with, who are we closing out with?
Austin Neal, Ray.
Austin Neal. You guys listen to this song and go out and support your veterans groups, support your firefighters, your first responders, but do not kneel for the flag. Stand proud, because this America might be lost one day and you won't have the chance to do it again. We'll see you here Friday night, God willing. The creek don't rise and the government don't get me first. Enjoy Austin Neal.
Good night, y'all. Thanks for listening.
Good night.